Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Got a pretty special whiskey here for our review today. It's Jack Daniel's 150th anniversary. And guys, I want to come back to Jack Daniel's because one, it's been a while since we've reviewed a Jack Daniel's product. Jack Daniel's is probably the most iconic whiskey in America. Definitely the highest selling American whiskey around the world. So saw this in the store, 150th anniversary, and had to try it out. Now, when they came out with their 150th anniversary last year, I believe, they had a 100 proof version that was like $100 for a bottle. And it's a little out of my budget, guys. So I thought I'd wait it out a little bit, see what else they had to offer. And then saw this in the store. This is the 86 proof version. So I mean, they toned down the proof a little bit. They also toned down the price a little bit too. So this was about $25-$26 for the bottle. So it was time to buy, and here we are. So give you a little background on Jack Daniel himself. So Jack Daniel was born in 1849. Was kind of a little bit of a rebellious kid, just like any of us, But he met a guy when he was a teenager named Dan Call, and Dan Call had a slave named Nearest Green, and Nearest Green was kind of Dan Call's master distiller. Made great stuff, and the two of them, Dan Call and Nearest Green, they taught Jack Daniel how to make whiskey, how to distill whiskey. So let's not forget their names to history. I think I've said it before, but so Dan Call, Nearest Green, definitely look them up, read up about them. I think it's important that their names be remembered, especially in American whiskey history. Dan Call, he wanted to kind of get away from the whiskey business. He wanted to devote more of his time to religion. So mid 1860s, he decided to leave. He kind of left the business to Jack Daniel a little bit, as far as making the whiskey and all that. And at some point, Jack Daniel's father gave him the funds to finance his own distillery and all that. So 1866, Jack Daniel was still a teenager, but he was officially making whiskey. And some people give, 150th anniversary would tell you 1866 was the year that the Jack Daniels kind of really started coming to life, and that's true. I mean, Jack Daniel was making whiskey in 1866, but other people don't want to really give him credit for becoming like a full-on company, a full-on brand until 1875. But that was kind of when the paperwork was completed and all that, 1875. I'm going to go with 1866. Jack Daniel's at 17 years old, making whiskey. I think that's pretty funny. 17-year-old kid, probably had no idea that he'd still be talked about, 150 years later. Kind of pretty cool stuff. So anyway, back to the whiskey here. Same mash bill as the old number 7. It's 80% corn, 12% barley, and 8% rye. So classic Jack Daniel's mash bill. This one, as I said, is the 86 proof, as compared to the 80 proof that Jack Daniel's old number 7 is. So this one might have a little more character. I love Jack Daniel's products, I really do. But sometimes the old number 7 tends to have more of a charcoaly flavor that I sometimes I like, and sometimes I'm like, okay, it's a little over the top, but I do like their products. So anyway, let's open this up, give it a pour. And look at the color here, guys, and it's a nice. This is a really nice color here, kind of a light to medium amber, but just the way it kind of shines in the glass, it's kind of got a nice thing going on. Not sure if you guys can really make that out right there, but anyway, this one is I believe it's the same age as the old number 7, 4 or 5 years old, but. The 150th anniversary version of Jack Daniel's whiskey, this one here, is it's all aged in the Angel's Roost, which is a special part of the rick house, or the barrel house where they age their whiskey, and it just it lends the right sunlight and temperature, and just overall just climate and atmosphere for this whiskey to be what it is. So anyway, it's a very nice color there. On the nose, guys. So on the nose, you get a lot of caramel type sweetness. Jack Daniel's uses the I believe it's the Lincoln County process, which is they filter it over 10 feet of maple charcoal, and then they have a part of the process is getting out the impurities and kind of getting rid of the corn note to the whiskey. And with all other Jack Daniel's products, I'm really not getting much corn at all in here. You might get like a small little undertone there, but not a whole lot. So you have a lot of, as I said, a lot of kind of caramel, a little bit of maple, probably from the maple charcoal. Definitely some baking spices and fruity notes like apples, a little bit of like an apple pie thing going on here with the apples and cinnamon and baking spices. A little bit of like a nutty note to it. Let's give it a taste, guys. And on the taste, on the palate here, you get more of that. You get more of the caramel and the fruity notes, the apples and a little bit of pear maybe, but definitely some baking spices, definitely some cinnamon for sure. A little bit of I don't know if that's like nutmeg, but definitely some of those kinds of spices you get in your holiday pies and all that. But it's got a lot going on for it. One thing I'm going to say for this whiskey here, the charcoal note that I mentioned earlier, Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 sometimes being a little over the top with the charcoal note, that's very subtle here. It's there, but not in your face. It's a great balance, guys. This is a great balance here between sweet notes and a little bit of spice. The baking spices mostly. A little bit of rye, not much. 8% rye in the mash bill, that's not a whole lot. But between the little bit of a sweetness, the baking spices, the fruity notes, it's just a great balanced whiskey, and it's very mellow. It's just it's almost a little, I don't want to say too mellow, but it's like you almost wish there was a little bit more there, little more body in that. But a very, very, very good whiskey, nonetheless. Highly recommend this one. I'm sure you can find it at your bigger liquor stores. This was $26 a bottle, as I said. And as for a rating, I'm going to give this one a solid 90 out of 100. As I said, I could use a little more body in this whiskey, but nothing to really complain about, guys. This is a solid A whiskey here. Highly recommended. So make sure you get yourself a bottle, get yourself a shot, whatever you want to do. Definitely want to hear back from you guys. Hope you like this review. If there's anything you want me to review in the future, let me know. I've got a few more coming up. I have a pretty well-known Scotch coming up before too long. Got kind of a trendy sort of whiskey, trendy party whiskey, but I don't discriminate when it comes to whiskey. I might not like some of these whiskeys, especially like flavored whiskeys, but sometimes I'm surprised. So recommend anything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Till next time, cheers.